Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Modcast, episode 49.
Woo, woo, woo.
Yeah.
Get those woos in there. Here we go.
Ooh, we are doing it.
Ayo, woo.
We got to that 7 squared, so
Oh, man, you're really pulling out the knock with this one. My God.
Yeah, man, we're doing it.
I love it.
I hope you guys all appreciate it. I just spun around in my chair doing a woo.
Hopefully that comes across. But yeah, so I'm Waj.
I slime.
I am Smith, John.
And I am Indy.
We're nearing our 50th episode, and that is kind of crazy to me. It really doesn't seem like we've done that many episodes, but what we're planning to do for that episode is, of course, another Q&A episode, but this time, if it all goes well, we will be doing a live stream of that episode. So it'll probably be like an hour long, and, it's gonna have all of us probably to answer your questions. So we'll announce when that is, probably sometime in December.
I forget if you mentioned this. Whoever asks the best question actually gets to become a moderator on the TTV message board.
Oh yeah, no, that is
absolutely.
definitely part of the agreement we made.
We signed that contract, yeah.
We'll vouch for you. That's what it is.
We'll vouch. Oh boy.
How's life and such, guys? I don't get to say that, so here we go. Let's do it.
I am currently really into D&D, and I'm trying to throw together a campaign to DM this weekend, yeah.
Oh, nice.
I was actually just gonna bring that up because, as it turns out, everyone who's currently in this podcast has played D&D at some point.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Actually, I've got a quick question for you guys. So I'm DMing this weekend, and I'm debating between if I should run my own campaign or a pre-made adventure and spend some dollar. I'm relatively inexperienced at DMing, although I'm pretty good at improvising.
My friend is a DM, and he spends a lot of time crafting out the various options, basically, for the quests, because, of course, the players don't necessarily, he's trying to coax people towards one of the quest lines that he's already made.
Right.
But, what happens is that players often...
Oh, you can't do that.
Disregard it just for the sake of fun. So you really have to come up with stuff on the spot a lot of the time.
I don't know, I'm just I'm nervous about setting up. I feel like I'm going to go in just so underprepared to make my own campaign.
There's a lot of rules as well that you just gotta know a whole bunch of stuff.
I'm pretty familiar in the rules. It's just that stuff like random encounters and like town shops are so scary to set up for me.
I've been playing a campaign for not very long at all. RDM is creating it as it's his own thing. We're not doing any prefab.
Okay, yeah.
So he completely invented the world, but as a result of that, a lot of the times when we try to do stuff, he's not exactly sure what to do. For example, in the last session that we did, we were going around and we fought a dragon. It was a small dragon. My character is Mefdar, a dwarven ranger.
Ooh.
Yeah, interesting mix there. I put all my points into dex.
Wow.
Yeah, so
I put all my points into intelligence.
I do charisma.
Yeah, it's overrated.
I have 0 decks.
I was like, I want to harvest the dragon's wings. So then our DM let me do that. So then I took the dragon's wings, and then I was like, I want to go into the dragon's lair and I want to take some dragon poo. And he was like, but why? And I was like, it could come in handy. So he let me take it. Next session, we go back to a bar or whatever, and we're just waiting around, and we're waiting for our NPC guy to give us our next quest, but we had some time to kill. So we walk up to the bar, we order our stuff or whatever, and I just take half of my poo and I just plop it right down on the counter, and I say, I'd like you to buy this.
Oh my god.
And another one of the characters we were playing along with, some of you guys might know him as Beef J Stag. He had a tiefling bard, and all his points are in charisma. So he was able to sway the bartender to buy the poo.
Oh my god.
We bartered it for materials to make Molotovs from, but our DM was just like, but what? No, what? Why? During the whole time. And it was just
charisma,
amazing.
Oh, I love charisma.
I have negative charisma, but one of the guys, he has crazy amounts of charisma, so he just persuades everyone into doing stupid stuff, and it's just amazing.
Yeah. I made a really fancy map of the campaign that we were running, probably. Looking pretty good. So we can put this up on screen, I don't care.
You make that?
Oh, nice.
Wow, that's actually really cool.
It's called Incarnate, I believe. It's this really, really nice map making tool. Put a little Bionicle Easter egg in there. Have you see it?
Oh, the Silver Spike Mountains.
Nope. Atero is the one that was my little Easter egg.
Oh, Atero. I see now. The map that we've been using, it's a pretty cool map, all things considered. It's really detailed. Our DM, he really put a lot of effort and work into it. No, it's really, really high quality.
Oh my god. I love it. What are the stars? Just like cities?
Cities, yeah. That black splotch. That's a volcano. It may or may not unintentionally resemble Donald Trump.
Oh, wow.
Oh my god.
Huh.
It looks like Trump crossed with the Grunch,
It does.
which is strangely
Wow.
fitting.
I'm curious, when do you guys think it's good and bad to use grid tiles in campaigns?
Combat, I feel like it's good, because, like...
Like, what about towns, you know?
I mean, towns and cities are more like freeform, really.
Yeah.
You know, unless you have combat within towns, maybe. But yeah, what I posted was the one that my DM made.
I like that. That's a neat city.
Yeah, that's a little port town that's got like a divide of like the slums and the higher class.
I like that. Wow.
But yeah, I didn't know about this incarnate. I might.
It's
tell
so
my-
fun. You should play with it. It's so fun.
So who have you guys played as? Like, what kind of characters?
My favorite class is Druid. I absolutely love Druids. And I play a Dragonborn Pirate Druid. So,
Mm,
kind of fun.
that's an interesting combination.
Here's another fun D&D link. This is the one I used for the character creation. You can make miniatures and 3D print them and send them to your house. So I got one made over the summer, and it's super cool. Let me see if I can show you my little guy. He's an alcoholic druid pirate.
Oh, that sounds wonderful.
Honestly, it's amazing.
Oh, wow,
Oh,
that's
cool.
Yeah.
Huh.
Oh my,
that's great.
What is a druid?
So druids are like...
a hippie.
I like druids because they can shapeshift into animals. I think that's super sick. The highlight of my character so far was there was this tower that was like 100 feet up, and we couldn't get to it. And at some point in the game, we had gotten this magic dust that we knew could make someone levitate. Because I have kind of a pirate background, most of the animals I knew about were aquatic. So I was able to turn into a octopus, grab every member of my party, and then we sprinkled the dust on me. And so I was a flying octopus, and we went up to the top of the tower.
Oh, wow.
And then I think I threw my party members at this dragon that was up in the air or something. It was amazing. So 2 or 3 years ago, our group got interested in D&D, but we were too overwhelmed by like the rules and stuff to play it. And because one of the main fantasy kind of worlds that we were all familiar with was Elder Scrolls, he decided to make his own simplified version of D&D using Skyrim terminology. All the armor was based off the armor in Skyrim, monsters, spells, so we kind of knew what we were doing. And eventually we kind of evolved into D&D. But this kid, he kept working on it, and he's been working on it for like 2 to 3 years now, his own like homebrew Skyrim D&D game, to the point where one of his cousins works at this like comic book store and is helping him make like a 100 to 200 page book out of it,
Whoa.
which is pretty cool. Like, it's not going to be sold because obviously you get like sued to hell.
You could call it something different, not Skyrim, but like Uprim. Look up Rim.
Morrow Sky.
I know people have tried it before. I always thought it'd be really fun to try to make my own like Bionicle homebrew because I think there's a lot of potential there.
Takuma kind of started.
Yeah, I haven't checked it out too much, but I heard it's decent. It seemed really complicated when I read through it.
Yeah, I mean, there are a ton of different homebrew versions because the format is applicable for so many different franchises.
You guys might be surprised to hear this, but there's this little game I like. It's called Breath of the Wild. But I was thinking, because like you've got species there, you've got your Gorons and your Zoras and your Rito and your Sheikah and stuff like that. So you got different races, and you've got like a world set up, and it's like it's big, it's open, there's potential. And I was thinking in my head like how you would do a homebrew. I then shared that idea with Waj, and he informed me that there was already a Legend of Zelda.
Oh, there is?
Homebrew, but
Of course there is. I mean, Avatar has one as well. You know, Avatar Last Airbender.
ooh, that would be great.
There's so many homebrews that it's kind of ridiculous, so you can probably find one of something really obscure, and this probably exists, because it's so malleable.
The Emoji Movie!
Oh, God.
Give me the Emoji Movie homebrew!
No,
I
you know,
want to
no,
roleplay
Emoji
as
Movie,
Gene!
they'll map it to, not D&D, but Hero Quest. You know, I think
Oh,
that's
okay.
what it'll be. Because it's got to be simplified, you know?
Avatar homebrew sounds like fun because my character in the D&D campaign that Slime and I are in is like sort of based on the Avatar, like at least as far as what his powers will eventually be.
John's character is like dumb. All he does is he tried to draw on like people's faces while they were sleeping, and it didn't work. And he woke me up, and he yelled.
I
I
just
yelled
try
at
to
him.
be as annoying as possible, basically.
Also, did I mention that every single time we defeat an enemy, we dab in victory?
That's pretty good, though. I like that.
The dabbing is officially canonical in our universe as being a sign of victory. Who is your character, Waj?
So my character is a wizard because I am uncreative in my races, so, gonna get that magic. And is a high elf. His name is Hugo Warwick, or as I like to call him, the Waffle Wizard. Because essentially, when my friend came to me and was like, "Are we gonna play in D&D?" It's like, you gotta make a character. And so I wanted to make my own moves, and he was like, "Okay, all right. Well, we're gonna start. You can only make one move, all right? Because I want to try to get it to be as close to the moves that we have, so it's not OP. Basically, the move that I picked was a Gravity Falls reference. It's hot Belgian waffles, and essentially, what it does is that I cook a bunch of waffles, conjure them, rather, and if enemies eat them, then they essentially explode. I've only used it like a few times, because it doesn't work on all enemies, like they have to have a pretty low intelligence to want to. But yeah, that's essentially what I have, what my character is.
Good old waffle wizard.
Yep.
For everyone watching, comment down below what you think each of the Modcast members' D&D class would be if we were a party. I want to see what you guys think.
Ignoring the ones that we've already stated, because, like, John, did you ever actually state what your class was? I don't think you did.
No, I don't think I did.
What are you? You're a monk, right?
I am indeed a monk, because I'm a hipster and I can't play a normal class like all you scrubs.
Recently, we were talking about Star Wars Constraction last time a little bit, and how, it's not good, and how, the future of Constraction, and well, it's all not... Well, it was actually just announced that there's going to be a new Constraction line in 2018, summer.
Oh,
It's
yeah?
called Voloctoreb.
Wait,
Wait,
really?
what? Link me. What?
Yeah, it's called Voloctoreb.
Right.
Yeah, it's totally 100%
Oh,
legitimate.
no, Slime, you're tricking me. No.
There was like a topic about that, and I was so immediately skeptical of it that I see a 0% chance of that being a thing.
I know there have been rumors of a new Constraction line.
Hey, wasn't this from like 4chan or something?
Yes.
It all comes from 4chan.
Yeah.
It all
Mhm.
comes from 4chan.
Like, how legitimate have these been? Like, I haven't actually really read it.
So the story behind it is that the person who was at least kind of pushing this idea really hard is Azani, who he's a member who's been known to catch on leaks pretty quickly, and he's got a lot of inside sources and stuff like that. So the name Voloctoreb came from one of those inside sources that in the past has been very reliable, but in this case it's probably just a joke that was taken seriously.
Voloctoreb. Doesn't really roll off the tongue.
No, it doesn't. It sounds
There's
like
Ninjago.
this is like a character that an 8-year-old would create.
Yeah.
Like, hey, my character's his name is Voloctoreb. He's
No,
like
it's just a line, in an alternate universe, Nintendo and Lego, they made a partnership, and so, like, this is just a line full of Voltorbs,
Oh, I could use that.
Like, that's essentially what this is. Constraction Voltorbs.
Are they just spheres? Like, what? Are there any pieces?
There's 2 pieces. There's a top and then there's a bottom.
It's just ball joints.
Ball joints, yeah, that's what it is.
Collect them all.
All one of them.
All 2.
All 2, yeah.
To put a wildly optimistic spin on this, it could be that Voloctoreb is a thing like Boneheads of Voodoo Island that is a preliminary name that isn't actually intended to be used. I mean, I really doubt that's the case. It's probably just a joke. But you never know.
That is true. Could be just a potential concept name.
I'm going to put Voloctoreb into one of those online anagram solvers and see what I get. 8-letter anagrams of Voloctoreb include over boot and over cool. They're not using all the letters.
Okay.
For 6-letter, Velcro, Clover.
Yeah.
That's going to be the new gimmick. The sets will have Velcro weapons.
You heard it here first, everyone.
Yeah, Constraction is dead. You gotta find a new market,
Hey,
right?
Velcro's cool. I like Velcro.
I like
Yeah,
Velcro.
I do as well. Lego Velcro.
No more ball joints, just Velcro.
Velcro Constraction figure.
I still remain on my stance that I don't think a new Constraction line is necessarily coming out next year. That is just a standalone thing that isn't connected with Star Wars. But that just might be me, because, yeah, who knows?
Original IP wise, Lego has been slowly moving away from that and doing more consolidation. Like I was noticing, we got recently pictures for the new Lego City line in 2018, and it's like a mining theme. And the past couple years of City has been the sort of situation where, you know, like they had a swamp theme, they had an ice mining theme, and now they have like a rock mining theme. And, you know, years ago, these would have all been their own separate lines, but now they're just all underneath Lego City, which makes me think that maybe Lego is starting to pull away from doing too many original IPs and is focusing more on licensed stuff.
Oh, really? You think they're focusing more
I know,
on
this is
licensed
such
stuff?
an innovative and like intelligent idea that I totally came up with myself.
New and original, only on the Mudcast here today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean...
Breaking news.
You're probably right about that. It seems...
Breaking, because like Lego sets break pretty easily. Never mind.
No, but...
No.
Especially with how the Lego Ninjago movie, which we never actually talked about.
I still haven't seen it.
Yeah, I mean, it was really a case where when it came out, all of the reviews kind of made the experience of wanting to go see it a bit like, oh, really? Like, well, why would you want to watch this movie? It's like so badly rated. I watched it. I ended up liking it. I didn't think it was the best thing ever, but I'd say, like, with how the perception of the Ninjago movie went, it probably has led Lego to think original IP maybe not the best thing we should be focusing on. Doesn't really bring in the same amount of money. Maybe. I don't know. People still like Ninjago, though. Like, Ninjago probably will still keep on going.
Well, yeah, that's the thing about Ninjago is that it hits a certain market. Kids from the ages of, like, 6 until around 11 or 12, I'd say. And even sometimes beyond that. But
right.
That's, like, kind of the major market they're hitting. And so Ninjago, it has its niche now. How long it can last, I don't know. Because as it stands now, it's an evergreen. But I don't know if that's feasible for something as relatively story-driven as Ninjago to do, because, you know, you look at the evergreens that we have now. We have Lego City, which not story-driven at all.
What do you mean that's not story-driven? Come on, man. Haven't you read all those comics in Lego Magazine?
In Lego City, in one of the sets, there's like a baby, and then in a newer release set, they basically have the same minifigures, but that baby has now become like a child. So there's continuity.
Whoa.
There's a hidden story. It's really plot-driven, that Lego City.
I buy Lego City for the plot. Like, you look at the Lego lines set up currently, like Star Wars, obviously that's story-driven, but it's just drawing off of a previous thing. And you've got, obviously, Marvel and DC and stuff like that. But even those aren't super plot-driven themes because they're licensed stuff. And then you look at, like, Lego's own IPs. Ninjago and Nexo Knights, I think, are the only current ones. There might be more I'm just not thinking of.
Elves, kind of.
Oh, Elves. Oh, who cares about Elves?
I don't know. They got a Netflix show, and it was animated by Studio Mir.
How was it?
I watched all of it when it came out, just for the sake of curiosity, as well as how the animation style was, you know? It just was really appealing to me, like how Voltron and, well, of course, Korra. Studio Mir just does a great job of animating their shows, and I, of course, recognized right away that it's not for my demographic, obviously. You know, there's some, I hesitate to call it humor, relevant, you know, memes, I guess you could say. They have their own version of
Elfie.
of a selfie called an Elfie, and I kind of winced at that. So, it's not a show that I'd recommend a lot of people watch, but if you're at least interested in seeing how Lego would do a show with Studio Mir, they do a really good job. At least it's visually very interesting. Story-wise...
Watch it with the sound muted.
Now that I think about it, that's very similar advice we gave in the Journey to One episode, because the Journey to One, a lot of the times you could have all of the sound off, and it would be a better experience.
Maybe we should do a fan redub of Elves. with our own plot line. Who are the characters? Let me look up the plot of Lego Elves real quick. I need to know who these characters are.
It's literally like
So
they go to
Emily
an
Jones
yeah,
and Elvendale. So Emily Jones, she's a girl going to high school, and she steps into a door, and it's a doorway to another world. And there she meets these elves: Azari, Farron, Era, and Nadia. Are those their names?
Those are their names. Yeah, those.
Oh,
I know.
Era? Era? Like, I wouldn't have such a big problem with that, but that's the elf of air.
I know.
It's like
you got.
Farron. If I'm gonna guess, Farron is the one of fire.
No, Azari is fire. So they actually have that going for them. Farron is like a dude guy. I don't know.
He's the token male.
I mean, he's kind of the comic relief, I guess. There's basically only 2 or 3 characters that are like not female.
Well, that's fine. You know, we'll just voice all the female characters. So let's start right now. I'll be Emily.
All right.
Hey everybody, my name's Emily Jones. I'm just a normal girl going to high school. Oh no! I've stepped into this mysterious portal.
Should I stop?
You got spot on for your impression, your voice talents. People will hire you as a voice actor
Thank you.
for sure
Of
if they
course.
listen to
Of course,
to
yeah.
this.
To do that. And wow, I'm reading the character descriptions, and the main character is like very much a Mary Sue. Okay.
Oh yeah,
Cool.
definitely. I put it above Journey to One, but not by a whole lot.
Only because it's not ruining an existing property.
Yeah, but also because it actually does something with its characters that isn't awful.
It has characters.
Yeah, as characters. I mean, that might also just be because of how the animation is. Because, like, in Journey to One, there's, like, hardly much, like, expression going on in there. Especially because of how their eyes and just how they talked would light up, you know,
But
speech patterns.
watch, it's made up for with the very expressive voice acting.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they all speak like this. And it totally doesn't sound like you're talking to small children.
I don't think Lego Elves... I don't know, maybe they do. Maybe they do a little bit. But it's not really noticeable, that kind of thing where they really trying to talk down to people. Which is kind of interesting, because like the demographic is definitely different from Bionicle, isn't it? Or maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe Journey to One was actually... Oh, I guess it makes sense with how the original plan was to target, like, 7-year-olds or whatever.
Wasn't it younger than that? Wasn't it like 5-year-olds?
Might have been.
I think
yeah.
it was like 5 to 7, which explains everything.
It
wrong
basically,
with
yeah.
T2.
Would I recommend watching the Elf Show? No. Don't. Unless you really feel it in your heart that you want to spend 4 hours, just don't do it. Yeah, just don't. Unless you're super curious, but just don't do it. So yeah, that was the Modcast. Thank you all for listening, and stay tuned for our live stream that we're probably gonna do. Keep an eye out on Bird Chatter and our topic on the message boards, because we'll update it.
Make sure to follow us on our Patreon, the TTV at patreon.com/the TTV channel to get a free audiobook of your choosing. We recommend.
Alright, goodbye everyone.
You may
Bye.
recognize
Yeah.
the